Melo was the reason why they were able to keep themselves in the game, and I just think that his role there is just so defined.
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Melo's the role he didn't want in Oklahoma.
Carmelo Anthony throws it straight away.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, episode 88. Who is Control the Narrative? We're a podcast that controls the narrative that the media creates. I'm just so hyped up after last night that I'm just trying to get through this intro, so bear with me. If you're new around here, subscribe to catch our weekly podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're a returner, subscriber, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, like these three fine gentlemen are, we appreciate you a little more than, the returners and the subscribers, if we're going to be honest with you. Go sign up, controlthenarrative.com, become a member, hop in our Discord, appear on the next episode of Control, get merch discounts, get exclusive member-only merch coming soon. It's just a good idea to become a member. These two guys will tell you that. But before we get into that, Melo is on fucking fire. This dude is just lighting up Staples Center every fucking time he plays. He is single-handedly keeping this Lakers team afloat. And, we'll just get right into it. I'd like to welcome Vick, Joe, and Kenny all back to the podcast. Multiple. If you guys watch our podcast, listen to it. You guys know who these three guys are, but always good combos with these three. So welcome back, fellas.
Appreciate it having me.
What up?
Always.
Yes, sir.
Vic, start with you in the top right. Let's jump into it. Melo's been on fire, like I quickly just said. Seems like he's scoring 20 points off the bench every single fucking game on insanely efficient shooting. So why do you think Melo's been so good in this Team USA role? Because that's what it is at the end of the day, this Team USA role in LA.
Mainly it's just because, for me, as he always said, I just think with LA, he has his role. It's defined. He knows what he's supposed to do. And I hate to say it, LeBron, is a real big key into how that fits. If you notice when LeBron and even AD, when they're on the court, they find him. Because Melo's thing is, he finds his spot. They double team AD, they double team LeBron. LeBron drives and kick, and the jumpers, is sweet. So, but I just think that, with LA, he's able to get himself in the groove. They put him in. Even if he misses 3 or 4 in a row, it's not like, all right, let's sub him out. You know what I mean? They let him rock. They let him play. Sometimes they do sub him out. At times, I don't think they should have. Like yesterday, when he was cooking the way he was, I don't think they should have subbed him out. I think they should have just let him rock. I get, he's older, 37. You don't want to, run him dry. But at the same time, he's what you had. He's your offense. AD did have 32 points. But, Melo was the offense. Melo was the reason why they were able to keep themselves in the game. And I just think that his role there is just so defined. And he's playing with players that don't go away from him necessarily, besides the person we'll talk about when you get to that subject. Yeah. And I just think that, it's kind of the perfect storm. When we had talked about this before, how my feeling was, I told you I was very optimistic, just the way kind of Frank Vogel coaches, LeBron, the way he plays, and just the overall respect he kind of had. I figured he would get more opportunities here than anywhere else just because, of the way that they play. They would feed off of him. And, even in the games they've lost, blowing a 26-point lead, throwing a 19-point lead, they feed off of him. Like, even when LeBron's going or AD's going, it's not that the team isn't feeding off it and they're not energized. But when Melo's going, it's like, I mean, even the crowd, they go bananas. The players, I mean, you got Dwight Howard hitting 3-pointers, and all of a sudden he's 3 to the dome. You know what I mean? Like, it's just exciting to see, man. And I just think that finally he's where a role is defined for him, and he's able to do what he does. The only thing that I would change is that they do feed him, but when the offense gets stalling like it did yesterday, just because they're running the zone, it's like, it's not the end of the world. You fucking flash somebody to the free throw line. And once you flash to the free throw line, they come with the double, then you can drop it down to the post and AD. If they don't come, Melo has a mid-range jump shot. Or you just run pick and roll with Melo and AD. I don't know why they think Russell Westbrook needs to have the ball in his hand.
We'll get to the Westbrook shit. Trust me, we'll get to
it. But I just think that role is defined, and he knows what he needs to do. And the only thing that I would change is just, instead of always just looking for him spot up, you can, throw him in the post and feed him a little bit. And I think that only happens when LeBron's playing. When LeBron's playing, LeBron will run that pick and roll or will, set him up on the post. And Rondo. I mean, if Rondo don't get ejected, we probably win by 20.
Agree. Joe?
Man, I think Melo as a whole, even coming to LA, man, I think he was really hyped from the jump. Playing on LA, man, it's big time. It don't get no bigger than that. You think about the Lakers and the California and the Garden and NYC. Those are two of the biggest, arenas to play in. I think when Melo decided to come to LA, playing with LeBron, I think he was so hyped, man. And then he felt good from the jump, man. You can see it. He just feel in rhythm. He ain't rushing. They found him. Like last night after the game, he had his press conference. One of the things he said was, the guys really look for me. They know how to get me in my spot to perform and shoot. Is what I do. They look for me all the time. Me and Bron, me and Rondo, they look for him. I think Melo playing with LeBron has elevated Melo's game, man. Like Melo's game is taking a notch up compared to LeBron. LeBron brings that to like a player like Melo's status because they best friends too, but at the same time, Melo's game is elevated, man, I think. And it just shows, man.
Yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire, in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Blackball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show. Joe, let me ask you something, because I have a brother who's 2 years younger than me. He is a diehard LeBron fan. Obviously, everyone knows I'm a diehard Melo fan, and we've just been back and forth with each other since literally 2004, 17 years about this shit. And one thing he was telling me is, like what you just said, like playing with LeBron, heightens Melo's game. And my, not comeback, because I'm not like, no, fuck you, it doesn't. But one thing I'm saying is, like, last night, LeBron's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people say, oh, just LeBron being there, like, gets Melo focused, or like whatever the deal is. Do you feel like that's fair?
I do. I like the Melo was just super locked in, man. Like I think Kim was saying earlier, when you shoot, he shoots. Fuck, you think it's going in every fucking single time? He's that locked in, and it's all draws. His shot is pure. It's all draws, man. It's so nice to see, man, that he's so locked in, so focused, man. I know we only 11 games in, but damn, this has been an amazing run for him, man. So far, I hope we keep it up once we get healthy all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Kenny, what do you think about Melo lately?
He's been on fire. He's been on fire, man. I think he's a lot happier in his position too, because they kind of explained it to him. Like, his big thing was letting him know up front, like what was going on, once he goes to a new system, and they kind of like already had in their minds like they were going to use. They're really using him. Versus everybody else is like, he'll get 2-3 shots and then they sub him out. Then he'll come back in, he'll be on fire and sub him out. He'll make a play, they sub him out. So now it's like they're like, come on, keep giving him the ball, let him do his thing, get us going, because he's definitely been the reason a couple of them games. He's carrying them, man. So
single-handedly.
Yeah, like there's nothing bad you can really say. Like even on defensively, he's doing that swipe, his famous swipe at it. But I mean, he's connecting with a lot of it. He's getting steals. Like yesterday, he got this steal. So it's like all this stuff he's been working on in the gym is like it's coming to fruition. Like you're seeing it. Yeah. Some of the extra stuff, because you usually see him like dribble and do stuff, but you also see him like run into spot, catching and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So all the practice and stuff, he's starting to get to use it, and it's more efficient now. So it's like I'm happy to see it, man.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see it.
One of the things I'm scared though is like when, like I said, second going to get healthy, how will his minutes diminish? Will he keep playing the same amount of minutes? Will he play Trevor Ariza more? Would he play THT more? Will Melo take a step back? You know what I'm saying?
Fair question.
So that was a question that on another podcast I did that brought up, but got a good friend of mine from LA. I'm probably the biggest Laker fan that I've ever fucking met, besides maybe Snoop Dogg himself and Jack Nicholson. But talking to him, when these guys come back, it's going to be damn near impossible for Frank Vogel to diminish Melo's role if he keeps on this pace, because the crowd ain't going to have it. Yeah. They're not going to have no Trevor Ariza in there and you making the Melo slap, because I'm trying to tell you, if you've never been a Staples Center, when they boo, I mean, they will boo the shit out of you. And I just think the crowd loves him so much.
Yeah.
And his peers. Like, I think these players that are going to be coming back, the Trevor Arizas, the Kendrick Nuns, the other kid, I fucking can't remember his name, is K&P, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, THCA, whatever. What's going to end up happening with them is that's going to start being the fight for that fifth spot. The Wayne Ellington, the Malik Monks, they're all going to be fighting amongst each other for those minutes.
Yeah.
And to be plainly honest, whose minutes they can take, because he sucks. And I usually don't say. I'm about to tell you, because I'm just saying this fucking guy sucks, and I don't know how he's getting all these minutes, but they can take all his. It's fucking Kent Bazemore. He can't throw a brick in the ocean. This month, he misses more layups than anybody I've ever seen. And when he misses it, the thing that gets me about him is when he misses it, he do this. Like he don't know what happened. Like, I mean, he tries hard on defense. Like, and I try not to be the guy to say any NBA player sucks, because they better than me. He's in the league. He's making millions. I mean, he living a lot better than I am. But for NBA standard, he is god awful. So if anybody's minutes need to be dipped into, it's his. And,
but Vic, he's the 3-and-D guy. You don't know this?
There is no 3-and-D guy. We done had this discussion. I mean, defense is fucking optional in the NBA right now. As I've always said, when you're playing in the NBA, today's NBA, defense is only paid in spurts. I don't give a fuck how great you are. You want to score, and you just want to get timely stops. If you could get 3 or 4 stops like they did to get a 14-point lead, you're a great defensive team. That's all you fucking need. Nobody's holding anybody to 90 points anymore. Those days have gone and left the building, and they're never coming back. So like this whole 3-and-D stuff, I mean, miss me with that, because I mean, if you're talking about right now, in the first 9 games in, Melo's your best 3-and-D guy. Nobody's shooting the 3 better than him. And he's playing just as good, if not the best defense out of everybody aside from Anthony Davis. I mean, I watched LeBron literally stay at the other end of the court while they were on offense and just chill.
Oh, yeah. I remember that shit.
Didn't move, just sat there. I mean, I'm like, this motherfucker must be the golden goose.
I'd rather I wish they had KCP better than Bazemore. KCP was a legit 3-and-D guy. 3-and-D guy. Better than Bazemore. Bazemore just, he shouldn't be starting, man.
Fuck. I'd rather they signed Buddy Hill instead of Westbrook.
1,000%.
That's what I would rather they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm still waiting for Bradley to get back to that gritty Boston attitude he had when he was like that pest in Boston, but I don't know. Still waiting for it, man.
Listen, I am Beantown to the heart. That's my hometown. I'm Boston. Die hard. I will fight anybody for the Bean. But Bradley Beal, his time is come and gone. Like, he has his flashes. He has his moments.
Yeah.
He's cool. Bradley Beal, Avery Bradley. Sorry, not Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley.
Avery awesome. Avery Bradley is one of those players that I don't mind when they insert. If you got it going, let him go. Let him rock. But when you see he don't got it,
he ain't got to go. He have to go last night.
Bro, another thing about these guys is, it's one thing when Melo got blackballed out the league and like teams were, he didn't even get cut. When people say Rockets cut him, they didn't cut him. They just sat him and they didn't trade him until months. Avery Bradley was just waived by the Warriors. He's on a different team every single year, and like, you can say all this stuff, he's a good defender, he's this, he's that. If he's like consistently not making rosters, like if the Lakers were healthy, he'd be getting 0 minutes a game.
Fact.
Yeah.
So when people talk about like, and not just this combo, but just like in general, like, they need to put in Avery Bradley. Like, he's not this lockdown defender that he was, and like, he's been in the league for a minute. He's not that young anymore. So, yeah.
We got some Discord members that be saying some stuff, and I be all like, let me keep it PG for Steve, and we all family here. But sometimes I be like, I don't know what the fuck this motherfucker talking about. I mean,
at least we know it's not
Joe. You ain't
in. No need to get in there.
Joe, you ain't in the group, but
I mean, get in that joint, man. Get in there.
I ain't gonna start, spurting out screen names, but Steve know exactly what I'm, because see you
Jetro,
you smooth.
I know.
You just won't say nothing. You just bypass the comment. Not me. I be saying like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Nah,
are you watching the same game we watching?
Yeah, man.
I be forgetting that the Discord is going. Now look, it be 97 messages later. I'm like, shit, I gotta catch up.
For those listening or watching right now, what we're talking about is our Discord, our invite-only Discord that you get access to if you're a Control the Narrative member. Especially during the games, it's pretty lit, especially during a game last night. So go to controlthenarrative.com and sign up to become a member, like these three. And you'll get access to the Discord. Just wanted to throw that in real quick because want to build the Discord up. But real quick, just to end the Team USA Melo thing, I think it's kind of a mix of what you all said, like the big market, playing with LeBron, he knows his role, all of these things. But I think the number one thing, if I had to attribute his success to one thing, I think it's just that he is in a situation and a role that he knows exactly what he has to do, and that if he does exactly what he has to do, then he has a chance at a championship. And how many times really could he have said that in his career, especially lately? Obviously, like OKC, maybe, I don't care what anybody says, they were a contender before Roberson got hurt, and I say that on a few podcasts, but Portland, were they ever like really a contender, like as much as we wanted to believe it? And I thought they had a chance. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I lied when I was like, yo, this bubble Blazers team, like they could. Like I really did believe so. But Melo knows that if he does what is asked of him, that he has guys around him that will do what's asked of them, and that if everybody just does their job, they will have a legit chance at a championship. And I feel like he knows that, and that's why he's just so fucking locked in, especially at Staples Center. We'll see what happens as they continue playing on the road. I think he's shooting like 10%
on the road.
But like
he's struggling on the road.
Yeah,
he's struggling on the road, but it's
weird.
They're all the same shot. It's just not going in. It's not like he's forcing it. But before we close out real quick, I just think Melo, if you take Melo and LeBron has had all the luck. He has had the greatest teammates: Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. I mean, Shaq, even though, Shaq wasn't in his prime, but, he had Shaq, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, all the great teammates. And it seems like Melo had all the screw-ups. We get Amari, and Amari needs like a 90-year-old man. We got J.R. Smith. When J.R. Smith was at the club on Tuesday at 9 o'clock and then try to show up for the game, an hour later.
In the playoffs. He was doing that
in the playoffs, yes. Then you get to OKC and it's Russ, he's just a wrecking ball. I mean, I watched one game, he took 40 fucking shots. Then he gets to Portland.
He actually did. That's not an exaggeration.
Portland, and then it's CJ McCollum just can't get out of his own way. So it was like every stop there was always one player that just ruined it. Like he would have a great player, like him and Paul George. I thought played well together. Russ fucked it up. I thought that Jason Kidd, and even the DB he had around him was great, but Amari couldn't get out of his own way. I love Dame. Dame is probably my favorite teammate that he's had, but CJ just got in the way. And I think this is the first time he was on the team where Russ is still getting in the way, but AD and LeBron are kind of like masking it just a little. And I think Melo's just way too comfortable where he's actually covering Russ's ass. Like when Russ goes crazy, like it's like, oh, Russ. I mean, the guy had 5 fucking turnovers in the fourth quarter yesterday, and the turnovers be so god awful, like
for no reason.
I don't know.
He just throw the ball up like this.
Yeah.
He look at you. He get mad at you.
Right.
Just give him your glasses, Joe.Maybe he's just not seeing some shit that we all are not accustomed to seeing. But I just think he's trying too hard.
Yes, 100%.
And that's my only thing with him. I think if he just scales back, if he can just take 10 to 12 shots, be a 12 to 15 point, he's going to get the rebounds, he's going to get the assists. That's the recipe to win. But I don't think he has reached that pinnacle. And it's funny how everybody threw Melo through the wall, like, oh, he should be 6 man. He needs to stop doing this. But we got to let Russ be Russ. I can kiss my ass with that. I like Russell Westbrook, but Russell Westbrook has, even though he has an MVP, if Melo took the Russell Westbrook approach and said, fuck y'all, I'm shooting 40 shots a game, he'd average 38 points, and he probably could have got himself an MVP, but he tried to get away from the stigma that Russ has, and he doesn't want that stigma. But somehow he still got labeled that guy.
Vic, let's get into it since we're on this Westbrook issue. We could get into the other questions after. We'll go around. Joe, Vic just told us, he kind of introed us into all this Westbrook stuff. All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord. I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever. And then you also get member exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com. And I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good. Obviously, Westbrook has been a huge issue for the Lakers. Trying to assimilate him with AD and Melo and LeBron when he's been on the court hasn't worked so far. And obviously, I think we all kind of knew it wasn't going to work right away, that it was going to take time. But let's go around. Joe, how did the Lakers fix this Westbrook issue? Do you think this is something that it's just going to take time and it's going to resolve itself? Or do you feel like they need to do something, whether it's like, bringing him off the bench, whether it's getting whatever you want to say?
I don't think, from watching the first 11, 10 games they've been playing, Russ is who he is, man. I don't think it will get better with time. He's 100% all the time, but he can't scale back. I don't think it's possible with him. That's why you see so many turnovers, man. It's constant turnovers. 5 a game. He's averaging 5 turnovers per game, man.
That's it?
Yeah.
I thought it was more.
I think, man, but it's not going to happen. I mean, I want to say for him to come off the bench, but it's not going to happen.
So what do you think they should do?
Me personally, I think he should come off the bench. I think you start Rondo. Rondo at the one, and at the 2 is with Avery Bradley. But Rondo should start over Russ. Russ should come off the bench to bring that energy to the second unit. Him playing the point guard right now, man, it's not getting the job done. It's not. So I think it won't get better. It'll get worse before it get better, in my opinion. I don't think he's that type to scale back his game to benefit the team as a whole. He should, but I don't think he will. It's not him. He's never done it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think if Melo can come off the bench for all that appeal, Russ should really consider that. Think about that, man. Or Frank Vogel, sit him down, or any Pelinka, somebody, and do something, man, because we don't want him to have this problem come second half of the season. You having 8 turnovers and 7 turnovers in a game, man. It won't be good come playoff time, man. I'd rather fix it now than down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Kenny, what do you think?
There's no fixing it. Russ is Russ, man. That's never gonna change, bro. I just don't understand how a point guard has so many turnovers, man. And then he looked at you like, well, why didn't you catch it? Because you threw it to the popcorn dude. How am I supposed to catch it? The dude you throwing it to the stands, and a couple of passes. I'm like, why did he throw that? I just don't know. I was actually talking to my dad the other day, and I asked him. I was like, would you do if you do 80 at the 5, LeBron at the 4, Melo at the 3, Russ at the 2, and Rondo at the starting him? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I would do that. Try that out too, because this way at the 2. Put Russ at the 2.
Before you finish, I'm gonna cut you off. You know what? Watching Russ the last couple of games, Russ is scared to shoot the ball at times, man. Just watch him. And it's like a hitch. It's not fluid.
Yeah.
It's like a hitch a little bit. He's scared to shoot, man.
Yeah.
When he try to force it to turnover, because he won't shoot.
He got that Simmons syndrome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he got that Simmons syndrome, man. I don't know, but I don't know because sometimes they're going through people, driving to the lane. That's not going to work. The league, they picked up on that now.
Yeah,
it's you got to go to something else. I understand you be trying to, like I said, you try to get assists and all that stuff, but sometimes that crash and burn, you do more crashing and burning than you do anything else, man. It's killing the team, man.
Yes, man.
And the team, they're like, all right, Russ is being Russ, but after a while, it's gonna be like, come on, bro.
So Kenny,
fucking it up now.
So is your solution play him more at the 2?
I would say play him with the 2, or do what Joe said, bring him off the bench.
All right. Not mad at either of those. The only thing I would say about the 2 is then especially if you got Rondo at the point guard, neither of them are great shooters. Does that kind of fuck up the spacing?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really, because you still got Melo and LeBron out there too. So it's like they might not collapse on them as much. It actually might open the floor up a little bit more for them. I don't know.
Fair. Vic, we heard your issues with Russ. Do you think this is just a thing that's going to fix itself with time, or do you feel like they have to do something?
No, definitely got to be something done. There's only two options, in my opinion. One of the options, even though it's an option, is just one that's not going to happen, is him coming off the bench. And the reason why it's not going to happen is two reasons. One, Russell Westbrook's personality, and he's a hometown hero to them. Two, I can't see Rob Pelinka or Jeannie Buss paying a 6-man $45 million.
I think that's the main thing. I think
That's going to be hard to justify. But the best solution to me is LeBron at the 1. You can either put Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk, Avery Bradley. You can fiddle around with who you want at the 2. Hell, you can put, Bays lays ass more at the 2, but I wouldn't. I would put Bradley at the 2. If you get a healthier Reza at the 3, Melo at the 4, KD at the 5. That's a big lineup, but that's the lineup that, to me, is the best because Trevor Ariza can space the floor, Bradley can space the floor, hit open shots. LeBron, your point guard, who's the ultimate IQ guy. I mean, I talk my shit about LeBron, but the guy is probably the smartest, if not one of the smartest players in the league, and AD at your 5. So if you got AD, he has the paint all to himself. He doesn't have to worry about Rush crashing into him. It's his world. And then you got the spacing for LeBron to do whatever he wants to do, and you got 3 shooters out there. You got Bradley, you got Ariza, you got Melo, and your famous 3-and-D guys, your Ariza and Bradley, which drives me crazy. So those two options are one, but the best option to me, if they can, trade. I would trade Russell Westbrook.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to say nobody said trade him yet.
They ain't gonna trade him.
I would trade him, and if you're trading him,
Buddy Hield?
I don't give a fuck.
Buddy Hield?
You can do the Buddy Hield thing, but after the way the season's gone, I don't see like Sacramento wanting somebody like him. Like Russell Westbrook's gonna have to go to a team that is desperate to generate sales, like, because if you put him on a team where he can just go crazy like he always did when he was with OKC, people will come see him. He'll be a triple-double fucking warrior. He'll give you that 30, 10, and 10 constantly. So you're looking at,
Detroit.
you're looking at the bottom barrels, the Detroits of the world, the maybe even Sacramento, but
he making too much money.
If you can find a 3-team deal where Russ ends up in Philly and Ben Simmons ends up somewhere, and you're the 3rd team that gets that option. I mean, I don't give a fuck how you get Russ out of here. I mean, I can help you find a way if you need help, but that is the option I think is the best option, is finding a trade partner where you can get. I don't even think you need a point guard. I just think you need another pure shooter. Another shooter. Because I can move LeBron to the point and be fine.
What about they trade? You keep Russ, but trade THT and a pick to sack for Buddy Hield. You think that'll happen? THT is a young kid. It got a lot of
promise.
Right. They could do that to bring Buddy Hield.
I mean, if I'm Sacramento, I wouldn't take that deal because the pick you're going to get is in the 20s. What pick in the 20s is really going to be a Buddy Hield? And, I mean, I like THC, but, Buddy Hield is a 44% three-point shooter. I mean, They're not walking around. And what's Buddy Hield, 26 years old?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think the Lakers fucked up because they had that deal signed, sealed, and delivered.
Oh, that would have been such
all
a perfect
set,
trade.
and LeBron and AD wanted Russ.
You do
And
straight out
that's what they ended up
Ben
getting.
Simmons. Ben Simmons for Russ.
I would do that.
You know what? I would do that.
I would do that.
And the reason why I would do that is for this reason. Ben Simmons may be scared to shoot, but I don't need that motherfucker to shoot. All I need him to do is rebound, and he's a hell of a passer.
Yeah, give him on the break.
Shoot. He's the version of Russell Westbrook I want. Because Ben Simmons, with Philly, the problem Philly had was they wanted Ben Simmons to be more of a scorer and stuff like that. Ben Simmons just wants to rebound, get assists, play defense. You know, Ben Simmons is fine if he got 6 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. Give me that. I need that. I'll take that because he wants to get that ball up to Melo and everybody else. I would trade Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook in a heartbeat. Hell, I'll throw some of my own money. It ain't much, but I'll throw whatever I got in there to make it happen.
Let me tell you,
that's a trade I would do.
When he came to Philly and I went to the game for OKC, the loud roar of boos that Russ got in that building was crazy. And I've seen him in person.
Was it the double overtime game or whatever that was?
Yeah. Him and Embiid was going at each other.
Yeah.
The way, because Philly don't play that. You lose 2-3 games. They don't play that, man. They just threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Like Philly don't give a shit.
Yo, let me ask you guys something about Russ because
Russ is a Philly guy though, in the sense of the way he plays. That's the type of shit they like. Like he's a
they Philly do. If you play your heart out, Philly will love you. If you don't, they gonna let you know. Trust me.
Yo, about Russ, let me ask you something because trading him would be great. Bringing him off the bench would be great. I don't know how feasible either of those two things are. Where my mind goes when I'm like watching Russ and on the verge of pulling a Vick and throwing my fucking remote at the TV is I feel like if he just changed his game a little, and I know that like over the past few years, he kind of has. I'm not saying he's been great at it, but in Houston, he changed it a little bit. In Washington, he changed it a little bit, obviously, from what he was in OKC. So I feel like if you just put the ball in his hands less, put the ball in Rondo's hands more, put the ball in Melo's hands more, just spread the ball out, put it in Malik Monk's hands more. Like, Russ is not like, his turnovers won't be an issue. They still might be an issue, especially if they're in timely situations where they need a bucket or whatever the case is. But I just feel like Russ, and this is me giving Russ credit, and I've talked so much shit about him, but he's an all-time great for a reason. And if the Lakers just found a way to let him be him, whether that's on fast breaks, whether that's just running pick and rolls with him and AD and not having him create something out of nothing, like you have Melo for that, you have AD for that. And I feel like they're kind of relying on Russ too much to do all these different things where LeBron's out. So, all right, cool, you got to lead the fast breaks. All right, cool, you got to run pick and rolls. All right, cool, when there's 6 seconds left, like just go make something happen. And I feel like if he just picked his spots a little bit more, because he's not a rhythm guy. Like, he's not somebody like Melo who's going to hit 2 or 3 shots in a row and be like, all right, let's go. Like, he gets to the hole and either gets fouled or not. So that's why I just feel like if he picked his spots more and the Lakers put him in situations where he didn't have to do so many different things and he just had to run pick and rolls and this here and there and that there and here and there, that he wouldn't be as big of an issue.
That's a great point.
So that
I agree with that.
That brings it up to a coaching thing then. Because I think 100%. We're on the same page. I just think Frank Vogel, as a coach, needs to have that conversation. And it's a difficult conversation to have with a guy that's been the number one guy his whole career and is used to being, doing things his way. And my thing is if you was able to have that conversation, or if everybody said that Carmelo needed to be willing to have that conversation, Westbrook is
exactly
his career to me is not. He doesn't have He doesn't have a better career in my mind than Carmelo Anthony. I don't care if he has just one little MVP. I mean, MVP is a popularity contest, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I mean, Steve Nash has 2. And one of the years he won, he beat Shaq out, and Shaq was averaging 29, 13, and fucking 4. You know,
And
so
Nash was
like,
putting up like 16 and 10, some shit like that.
yeah, and
They robbed
then he
LeBron
went
one
on,
year too.
You know what I mean? Then he went on and he fucking went to the finals and averaged 35, 12 and 2 blocks. Like, I mean, Shaq didn't give a shit about the NBA, the MVP of the NBA. As long as he won the finals MVP, that's all he really cared about. But you can't tell me the most dominant man that ever played the center position or played basketball in general has won MVP. I find that hard to believe. There was a year he said that I think LeBron got juked out of one.
Yeah.
But there was a year that LeBron won that I didn't think LeBron should have won. There was a year LeBron won that I thought James Harden actually should have won.
Yeah.
So the MVP award is just kind of it's
hit
a
or miss.
popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
even with LeBron, sometimes you get fatigued. I mean, Michael Jordan probably should have won MVP 8 straight years, if you want to say. I mean, he had the numbers, his team was winning, but it's like, okay, Charles Barkley's team won 65 games and the Bulls won 58. Charles is averaging 25, 10 and 3. Jordan's averaging 35 and 5. Let's give it to somebody else. That's just kind of what the NBA was at the time, and it still is. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a conversation. Like, he can change his game. He just has to be willing to do it, and he's only going to be willing to do it is if the coaching staff comes to him, and to be honest, the players. He needs to have the coaching staff, and then the LeBron, AD, and Melo just like, hey, yo, this is how we gonna win, bro. Like, we need you to be you, but we just need you to be more under control.
And he's got to know that, bro.
15 shots.
He's got to know that.
I think he does mentally, but I think
physically.
I think he just, how you're so used to being able to do something, and the older you get, you still think you do the shit that you did when you were 25. Prime example is, I'm running around with my kids and I'm slamming, I'm wrestling and shit with my son like I used to, and I just realized I'm tired, and it's only been 5 minutes. 38 years old. I can't do the shit I did when I was 25 anymore. You know what I'm saying? My mind says, get up too quick, that knee pop, like, oh,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
About to say, you hear that pop.
I'm not a young man like Steve, you know what I'm saying? Me, Joe, you look like you're about my age. We
absolutely.
We older gentlemen, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah, no doubt.
Our bodies is working a little different, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I just think Russ has to. It's gonna take him to come to that conclusion, just like Melo. Like, just reinvent your game. You can still be Russ.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
You just gotta be a different version of Russ.
But to your point, real quick, the whole OKC with Melo thing, it wasn't even necessary. So I'm not going to say, oh, Melo needed to take a step back in OKC, because if you look at Melo's stats in OKC, the first how many games he was putting up 20 points a game? He put up 22, 26, 23, 28, 23, 21. And then that next game, 17, 10, 15, 16. And then it was going in the teens. So, again, not saying that Melo was playing like in OKC like Westbrook is playing now, but obviously they went to him in OKC and was like, whether it was the coach, and I think it was the coach, whether it was Paul George behind the scenes saying, yo, I need the ball more, whatever the fuck happened, that happened, and OKC figured shit out. And I think Westbrook, whether it's Vogel, I don't know if Vogel has the balls to do it because we all know who the real coach on the team is. Going up to LeBron and just being going up to Bron. See, I just said it. Going up to Russ and being like, "Yo, this is how we're gonna win." To your point, and then if he wants to do it, that's one thing, and I think he will, just because he wants to make it work. I feel like, especially home, and then from there, it's just, can he do it? I think that's all.
Yeah, he gotta let the game come to him too. It's like a lot of stuff you trying to force it. Like just let it flow. Like you can get your little back down off the glass because I mean it's not a lot of guards that can hit a jumper off the glass consistently like that.
You're right.
Like he be killing them with that. And even when he does that, he's drawing double teams, so that's freeing everybody else up. Like you can get your points that way too. You're getting everybody else involved, and you getting your shots and stuff off too.
Yeah.
But he just sometimes that trying to drive to the lane, going through 4 people, trying to pass it over your head, and then hit the popcorn dude, man. Like it's not working, man. Like it's for you to have that many turnovers, it's crazy.
Exactly, man. He got to pick his
And
spots,
it's bad turnovers because you see he jumps in the air, then he's like, oh shit, there's 4 people here. What am I do?
Yeah.
So now he's trying
That's
to figure out where to
fundamental
go,
basketball.
And he's
never
throwing
jump
it
to the pass. Never do that. Yeah, exactly.
Never get caught in the air with a pass.
100%.
Never get caught in the air with a pass.
Clyde's favorite fucking
Unless
saying
you-
right there. The cardinal sin of
The only
passing.
person that I know jumps in the air and makes a pass and gets away with it 85% of the time is fucking LeBron. Because he's 6'8" and he's sitting in the air for 5 seconds. So he's like, oh, hey, he's over here in the open in the corner.
John Morant
I
too.
know that doesn't.
Yeah.
John Morant get away with that shit too.
Yeah.
But
Because
again,
he will look like he about to dunk it and find somebody. I'm like, oh shit, how do you even see them?
Young athletic guy, you know what I mean, who still got it. But again, I mean, I like Russ. I mean, I love his intensity. I mean, it's just he just has to harness that, and it's just one of those, just reel it in. I mean, I think if he just structured it and said, I'm gonna get these guys involved, and he's getting everybody involved, the game becomes so much easier for him because if Melo's hot, AD's working, that's when it's like, all right, these guys are hot. Now they're focused on him. Now when he does that crazy one-on drive when he's going to the hoop, there's not going to be 5 people in the basket because they're like, man, Russ he's passing. We got to play these guys. Can't leave Melo open. We can't leave AD open. LeBron's killing us. That's when you pick your spots because one-on-one, if it's Russ versus anybody, I'll take Russ because he's smart, he's fast, athletic. But the thing is, it'd be Russ versus 5 of them. It's like me versus the whole team. And then everybody else is sitting at the 3-point line like, what is this nigga doing?
Yep.
And then he throw the guy, what you call it? The popcorn man. He throw it to the popcorn man, and then he's mad at the popcorn man.
Catch it. You're right. Why'd you catch that? So what? You got popcorn on your hand? Catch it.
Yeah.
Joe,
you know what I mean?
let's get a final thought from you on Russ before we move on to the next question. I haven't heard from you in a minute.
I think, like you guys are saying, man, I think to scale it back a little bit, man. Pick your spots, man. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour all the time. Pick your spots, man. Be the floor general we need you to be, man, on the floor. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing you gotta do. Pick your spots. Play off LeBron, AD, Melo, and just calm the fuck down a little bit, man. Settle the fuck down.
Fair enough. Yo, last question. Let's bring it back to Melo for a second. Kenny, we'll start with you on this one. I think one thing, this is my personal opinion, you guys can agree, disagree, explain, whatever you want to do. Playing with a high IQ, we just talked about a low IQ player. Let's talk about a high IQ player like Rondo, and I guess we'll throw LeBron in there because we have to. How important do you think playing with one of those guys like Rondo or LeBron is for Melo?
It's very important. I mean, to me, one player that always stuck out to me that with the high IQ was Chauncey. Like you seen how he ran the offense, man, but he found ways to get him involved, and you see how far they went. Like, you know, if you definitely have to have basketball IQ. You can play the game, but it's not going to be the same. You can't win at a high level without IQ. Like you got to have a general, or you got to have somebody that knows how to work the floor. Because, like, you know, he's standing in his spots. He will find you. He might not think he's looking at you, but you got to be ready, and you know to be ready. This way you can be yourself. You ain't got to worry about, you know, trying to force yourself into the offense, if you know what I mean. But, you know, like it's easy. It just makes the game so much easier for you, and you can you can play better that way. You can still get your stats off, still help the team, still contribute and win. Like it's nothing better than having a player with great IQ.
Yeah, and I also think, again, you brought up Billups. Every time we look at when Melo had a really one of his best career years, and we've all talked about this shit before, he's always had a veteran point guard with high IQ, whether that's Chauncey in Denver, whether that was Kidd in New York. And look at what he's doing now with a guy like Rondo and even LeBron, a primary ball handler. So especially for a guy like Melo, who is yes, he can get buckets in isolation and in 18 different ways, but for guys to set him up, I just think about last night when they were on a breakaway and Rondo did this little shovel pass where he went like this and
Melo
and shoveled it to Melo on that fast break and Melo hit the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Little things like that is huge specifically for Melo because he's a rhythm guy, and also if people know how to use him, shit's a wrap. And I'm not saying they didn't know how to use him in Portland, but Dame, I think he has a pretty high IQ, but he didn't really look for Melo like Rondo was looking for Melo, and Kidd was looking for Melo, and Chauncey was looking for Melo. So that's why I wanted to ask this question. Vic, what do you think?
Well, thanks for stealing my thunder, but like you said, I mean, if you look at Melo's best career, days, it was with Chauncey and it was obviously with Jason Kidd. A high IQ pass first point guard. Like I said, I love Dame, and Dame tried to find Melo, but Dame's a scorer.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, he would find him, but he's looking to do what he do. You can't be mad at him for that. Same thing was the situation with AI. AI is a scorer. He would find Melo, but he's a scorer. But when you got a pass first point guard who is their jobs is to get you in rhythm, and Chauncey was great at it. Even Jason Kidd was amazing at it when they won the 54 games. It would be, like if you had a Chauncey Billups or a Jason Kidd, or hell, even LeBron, and in the game yesterday, when the game gets tight, they go on a run where, I don't know, everybody lose their shit. And I thought it was funny. We get 3 technical fouls, and then you get the 2 free throws. So that's 5 free points we just gave away.
Yep.
And then you get the ball back. You need a point guard who, not like Russ, who's going to run and turn the ball over, who slows the game down and says, everybody relax. Let's run a set for AD, or let's run this set for Melo. You get the ball into the guys' hands that are the scorers. Same thing at the end of the game. Game's on the line. AD takes that shot. Do I mind AD taking the last shot? No, but that's not the shot I would have him take. AD needed to get the ball closer to the paint, and then he can face up, and now he's a triple threat. He can go by you, he can shoot over you, whatever he wants to do. But in that same token, where AD got the ball, that's Melo's spot. That's where you want Melo to have the ball, because now he does whatever he wants to do. And I said this in the Discord yesterday, and this is no disrespect to AD, but it blew my mind because I said, how many fucking game winners does Anthony Davis have on his resume? Because if anybody knows, I don't. I bet
at least one.
One that I know of.
It might be single digit. I mean, and we're talking about a guy who's done it over and over and over and over and over again. And I watched him for 9 straight minutes go stand in the fucking corner like you put your kid in timeout while these dudes are just, Bazemore's taking shots. Avery Bradley's taking shots. Russ took every shot. And
Russ is throwing it to the popcorn, man.
That's the way you get beat. But when you got a smart IQ point guard, I think that's what Melo needs. Why? I think when LeBron is in the game, he plays yesterday, the game doesn't go down like that. He slows the game down.
100%.
He gets Melo the ball in the right spot, or AD, or he attacks under control, and he's going to either score or he's going to draw the double team, which Russ always does. But instead of losing the ball out of bounds, he makes the pass. I'm not going to get over the last game they played when they played the Thunder, and Russ drove it, and Melo was so open, and this motherfucker just punched the ball all the way up out of bounds, and he just stopped, and he had this look like deer in the headlights. It was somebody else's fault. Like
he was scratching his sideburn.
I'm like Russ. Yeah, like Russ. It was a simple pass. Like you had it. All you had to do was just stop and just chuck it across. The guy's hot. Give him the ball. We make a break, and you go home with that shot. And you can see Melo's frustration. You can see AD's frustration. Like, they get the side shoulder dropping, but nobody's gonna say nothing to Russ.
Not yet.
Now, if you caught Melo back in 2003, Melo would have told Russ, "Listen, you pass the fucking ball." But I think he's kind of at a stage in his career where he's more relaxed. I mean, you see what he did to the ref. He said, "Who the fuck you talking to?"
Did you see that shit
I
where he
looked at
said, "Who the fuck you talking to like that?"
I put it in the Discord.
Yeah,
And everybody was all like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, because the ref started yelling at me and said, man, who the fuck are you talking to?" The ref immediately stopped, and then he gave Russ a tech. And I said, yep, he realized, I ain't fucking with Melo because let me just give somebody else a tech because this don't look like it's going too well for me and myself.
Yeah.
But the refs do, they do try to become too part of the game too, man. It's just like, it's a game of emotion. People are going to yell and scream. Like, you can't take it personal. If you take shit personal, don't be a ref. That's just not the job for you because you can't take a person's actions personal because they don't mean it in a disrespectful way. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't be a ref. That's why I don't have a ref license because I'd have been knocked out 6 or 7 people, because people get too emotional. I know my limitations. This is why I don't do certain shit. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I digress. I just think, like you said, natural point guard knows what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Feeds Melo, gets him in the best positions, and anytime he's had one, he's had great success. Not good success, great success.
All right. Little tip to Borat right there. Hat tip to Borat. I like that, Vic. Joe, you got anything else to add? Great
Not
success.
really, man. I mean, I think to go what you guys said, man, it's vital to have a high basketball IQ at the point guard position, man. You talking about LeBron? That's how LeBron been all his life. I mean, all his career in the NBA, being magic, running the point forward. You know what I'm saying? Getting people in the right positions to score. That's all he do. And Rondo the same way. Rondo epitomizes the past first point guard everywhere he's been. Talk about Boston, got them a chip with KG and Paul Pierce. You think about the Lakers, got them a chip in the bubble. Even in New Orleans, we had AD. He still was past first point guard. You know, with the Bulls back in 16-17, he led them in the playoffs. He was one of the main reasons they went. 102 games against. I'm good. They played lots of series, but he's one of the main reasons they played well. So Rondo's always been a past first point guard, man. His IQ off the charts, man. And I just really think on this team, him playing a lot more be beneficial down the road, man. Because he's that guy, man. He can get him where they need to be on the floor at all times.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. And there was a game or two where he didn't play, or he played like very few minutes when LeBron was playing, and I was just like, shit, is this going to be a thing where Rondo doesn't even get any playing time when LeBron is on the court? Obviously, we'll see what happens. I hope that's not the case, but he had 3 straight DNPs, Rondo. Mm-hmm. So that's why and then like you look at yesterday, he was a +20. And I'm not somebody, you guys all know this, I'm not somebody to point to fucking these analytics, but like you could tell watching the game that when he was in, the Lakers were a different team. So anyway, just wanted to touch on that because I thought that was pretty important. So we're 57 minutes in. Hell of an episode. We touched the highs of the highs with Melo Mania. I think we're gonna call it that, Melo Mania, and then the whole Westbrook shit. I really wanted to harp on that Westbrook shit because of obviously how he's been playing and shit like that, but also because I feel like it can be a recurring theme, and I wanted to know your guys' opinions on how that can potentially go. But as all three of you know, before every episode ends, we allow our guests to control a narrative. Doesn't have to be Melo related, doesn't have to be basketball related, doesn't have to be sports related. So Joe, you're top right now. Do you have a narrative that you want to control?
Not really, man. I just hope that the Lakers, man, keep the same energy going, man. This same hot streak. Preferably our guy Melo, man. He's been tearing shit up, man. I mean, at an unbelievable clip. And I just want to stay in this locked in mode he's been in, man. And Rondo and LeBron, and the fact they found him in the spots. Hope it continues, man. It's still early, but hey, look what I'm seeing so far.
11 games in. Kenny, you got a narrative you want to control?
I just don't let people, write your story for you. Write your own ending, write your own middle, change your own chapters. Like, people can say what they want, but as long as you stay respectful and stay true to who you are, man, never let anybody else write your story for you.
Respect.
Absolutely.
Vic, you got one for us?
Well, I got one. I ain't gonna be all jelly bean like these ones. My controlling narrative is that even to this day, even though Melo's playing well, he's still the most disrespected superstar I've ever seen in my lifetime. And this year has been a perfect example. I'll just take last game as an example. He was on fire. I mean, flaming. 29 points, but he gets only 13 shots. I watched Steph Curry get 50 points. He gets 38 shots. I mean, I'm watching people. My narrative is just strictly this. If you take Carmelo Anthony's game yesterday and you put any superstar, hell, any average to mid-average player, I'll even give you a fucking Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton was as hot as Melo was yesterday, he would have had 25 to 30 shots. And it drives me crazy that still to this day, he gets hot and it's like, it's almost like it's a sin to keep going to him. Like, fuck, we can't let Melo get 50 because we've been telling y'all he's been done for the last 5 years, and if he gets 50, and that just drives me crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish I wish the coaching staff, like, there's no reason why he shouldn't have had 5 or 6 more shots yesterday. There's no reason why it should have been 9 minutes of him not touching the ball at any point. Hell, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he should have brought the ball up the court. If that's the only way you get the ball in his hand to get it out of Russ's hand, just say, hey, fuck it, Melo, you bring it up. You run the pick and roll with AD. It's anything to get the ball in his hands. When somebody's hot like that, you want to feed him. If LeBron was hot like Melo was, nobody else on the court would touch the ball. If AD was hot like he was in the first quarter, what did they kept doing? They kept going to him in the post, kept feeding him. Why my man can't get that same love? And it bothers me. You know what I mean? They try to end his career just like they try to end my other GOAT's career, Tom Brady. But all he did was just go to another team, win a Super Bowl. Right now, probably the MVP of the league. Like, these are two stars where they control their narrative and everybody else is trying to control it for them. They're going to let you know when they're done. Melo will be the first person to tell you, yeah, I'm good, I'm done. So that's what I need to control, is that let my man be great. You know what I mean? Stop trying to limit him. You know what I mean? Stop. It's like they're like, all right, Melo went crazy. He got 29. All right, we need to cap this off because we don't want him on ESPN.
But I think last night, for example, I caught Melo when he's in the fourth quarter. He was standing in his role. He know his role on the team is different now. He know AD's the man, so he was passing them shots that he would take to get AD the ball in the post because he knows that, hey, this is AD's team. So let me get him the ball where he needs to be. So he take a step back because this is AD's team. So he may pass up a shot he want to take. He passes it up because, hey, this ain't Melo back in New York no more. This is AD's team. So, hey.
No, you're right. But the only problem I have with that one, Joe, is AD didn't even touch the ball. It was fucking the Russell Westbrook turnover show.
That's fair.
I mean, it'd have been one thing if AD, took, if AD took 5 straight shots, I might have been like, damn,
Yeah, I feel you.
He didn't even touch the ball. We got Westbrook out there. Westbrook in the popcorn man. That's gonna be my new thing.
That's fair.
I think that's got to be the title of this podcast. Melo Mania and Russ and the Popcorn Man. That's got to be the fucking title of that shit.
That's a fair point, B.
That's fair, man.
Russell Westbrook's about to block all 4 of us on Facebook, Instagram. He takes shit personal.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna be in his next documentary. Fuck the control narrative, people.
And it's frustrating, bro, because like how many times in Portland did we see the same thing in OKC? That game in Philly that we were just talking about, that double OT game, I think Melo was like 11 of 13 from the field or some shit. And it's like, bro, when you
that's the game we were talking about. Russ had 40 shot attempts.
Yeah, in the playoffs. And like it helps the fucking team. Like we're not saying this like, guys, come on, like let this guy score too. Like he's just some like it helps the fucking team win. And they almost got
2 game worth of shots in 1 game.
Yeah, that was.
It's last thing. Melo last night, Vic, 13 shots, 37 minutes. 37 minutes he played, and he got that's a shot 13. Like every 3 minutes, around.
And he made them all count. And he's gonna continue to make them count.
7 threes, man. 7. Yo.
7 out of 10.
God damn. That boy was fire, yo.
Yo, before we get out of here, and he keeps shooting it like that, you think he gonna join the 3-point contest?
Bro, I've been.
I said the last podcast we had.
Did I not say that? I said, yo, one hot take this year, Melo needs to be in and needs to win the 3-point shootout. He needs to. I don't know why he's never been in it before. I'm gonna push that.
Yeah,
we're gonna make that happen. We'll see him in Cleveland.
I would love to see that happen.
Oh man, it'd be crazy.
It'd be nice if he beat Steph in the finals because Steph's the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah,
bro. I think you guys do, but the amount of anxiety I would have if Carmelo Anthony was in the 3-point shootout and we got Los Angeles Laker Carmelo and he gets up there and I see the 60 seconds and I'm just like, bro, this could make or break fucking everything right now. Like a little ass thing like that.
That's why I get the straw and put it in the bottle.
Either he dropped 20 points or 7.
Right, exactly.
That'd be fucking wild, man.
I know.
That'd be wild. Joe, Kenny, Vic, hell of an episode. Last night Vic was like, yo, you better hold this shit for 2 hours. And I actually skipped the question just to make it like a reasonable listen. And I kind of figured that was gonna happen, but I appreciate all of you for those fucking insights, man. Always fun talking basketball with you guys, for being a member and all that shit, and just being part of this shit, man. It's been a fun season so far, so can't wait to continue.
Joe, get your ass on the Discord, man. That's where all the action.
I'm in there next one.
Yeah, man.
Let's do it.
You got a
big game
tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's game.
If I stay awake too, because niggas gotta get up at 5 o'clock.
Yo, this is the thing about it. I gotta get up.
It's in LA.
At 5:30, and I be sitting there saying the same thing. I be like, man, I can't watch the game, and I can't go to sleep.
Yeah,
and I be driving to work mad than a motherfucker.
Right, exactly.
Especially if they lose.
Right. Yeah.
Bro, either way, if they win, I'm hyped. If they win, I'm hyped. I'm like, yo, let's go. And then if they lose, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm on Twitter like, fuck Westbrook and all this shit.
I know, right?
Appreciate you all.
All right, man. Well, keep me updated, Steve, on the Philly thing.
Yes, sir.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for all of us to get together and just chop it up outside of this in general. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always traveling, so just let me know, man. I'm everywhere.
What'd you say?
I'm in Tampa in December. I'm in LA.
Kenny said he got a few couches for us, so we should be straight.
I got you.
Appreciate
Kenny
you
don't
guys.
want me
All
there.
right, fellas.
I could.